there's just something unapologetic about choosing your own timeline, defining your own timeline, and not allowing yourself to be pressured by what society deems as successful. I didn't pressure myself to be like, Nick, dapat by 26, by 27, dapat ganito na yung nakita mo sa bank account mo. Like, I realized that I'm just done pressuring myself. I am done working under pressure. When we focus so much on the peso sign, okay, that's when we become pressured. Guess what, guys? I am turning 28 very soon this June, and I've got some thoughts about this whole pressure around being 30 or being 30 past 30 and how to stop this pressure of timelines. And what better way to do that than another money and makeup series where I get ready, where you get ready with me while I do my makeup, and as I share and reflect on money lessons, life lessons. It's a fun time. First off, I already did my eye makeup because I wanted to focus on the base today, like what I put on as a base so that I have a smooth application for my foundation and how to have that glowy makeup look where hulas proof, okay, because ang init, guys. First off, so important that I put on sunscreen. So I already have sunscreen on my face and actually helps with the glowing factor. This is the sunscreen I swear by. I have gone through bottles and bottles of this because it's water resistant. You can use it for your face and your body and it doesn't sting my eyes. So I always have this with me and I always replenish this one. As usual, products will be linked down below in case you're curious about anything I put on my face today. Now that I have that good base on, then I just use a primer for the areas that I get oily so that my makeup doesn't slip there. So I have this primer that really helps in mattifying this area as much as possible, which is my T-zone. So I'm like normal to oily. That's why this is important for me. So as I put on foundation, when you talk about stopping this pressure to be considered successful based on how much savings we have, how much we earn, what we finally achieved at what age, because I realize sometimes we always want to verify if like successful na ba ako because I'm at this age and I already have this much money, and it's usually like you should have this much savings by 30, you need to already have invested this much if you want to retire by 50, or you should have already put a down payment before you're 30. And guys, I get that because I've been in that trap of like dapat, I mean guys, nakakatawa kasi I even thought before that like, oh Nick, by 25, dapat kasal ka na. Tapos by 28, may anak ka na. Yung parang, why are we making up these timelines? Like, according to who? Okay? I mean, yes, let's talk about the whole baby situation. Yes, we have a biological clock as women, as females. But like, at the same time, I've also seen a lot of people, they've only started having a baby like after 30, you know? And there's really a lot of benefits to that. And ultimately, it's not about following someone else's timeline. It's thinking about like, what is your timeline? How can you respect your own timeline? Because we think that like the earlier you achieve something, the more successful you are, the more that you were able to achieve more in your 20s, then that means that ang dami mo man achieve sa life, sana all. And let's just please debunk that and stop that, because like it's about time that we stop putting that pressure on ourselves, because we already get enough pressure from society, from family, from relatives unconsciously that, oh, we need to have this in order by this age. And who's making this up? There's no rule book na dapat by 25 ganito ka na, by 28 ganito ka na, by 30 ganito ka na, by 40 ganito ka na. The reason why I really wanted to speak on this is because when we put this kind of pressure on ourselves, on these kinds of timelines that society made up for us, the more that we're prone to rushing things. And when we rush, that's when we're prone to making terrible decisions, because we're like, kailangan agad na. Like, that's why people rush into investments that they don't fully understand. That's why people rush into diving into the wrong investments and turns out scam pala or mali pala, diba? Turns out to be a bad investment, right? And it's because they are rushing to get to that timeline that society made up for them. Or people rush to save faster, so they want to add more side hustles para mapabilis. Or people are hyping so much about retiring early, and so they sacrifice so much from the present so that they get retired as soon as possible. And truly, what's the point of getting to that goal, getting to that amount of savings, getting to that amount of income, or retiring early if you were just tired, burnt out, and unhappy in the process. Like, if that's what success means for society, for most people, I don't freaking want it. That's what I've concluded. Now that I'm turning 28, alam mo yung, there's just something unapologetic about choosing your own timeline. Defining your own timeline and not allowing yourself to be pressured by what society deems as successful. That's why in this video, I want to talk about how to stop putting this pressure on ourselves, because when we first acknowledge that, like, okay, where is this coming from? Why am I pressuring myself? Who said so? Like, first, when we really acknowledge that and become aware of it, then we realize, do we still want to subscribe to that kind of fast-paced, pressure-based goals, you know? And because I really believe that when I stopped putting this unnecessary pressure on myself, the more I was more excited to take action on my goals. The more I was motivated to take it seriously and do something about it. Now that I've achieved my first ₱1,000,000 net worth, it was never the ultimate goal. It was a byproduct of me being so focused on my mission, my vision for my life, and it just so happened that it was a natural part of the process. I didn't pressure myself to be like, Nick, dapat by 26, by 27, dapat ganito na yung nakita mo sa bank account mo. Like, I realized that I'm just done pressuring myself. I am done working under pressure. Like, it's just so glorified na you need to work well under pressure. You need to have grace under pressure. And truly, that's what I had been for 6 years in my corporate job. You know, na parang, give me pressure, I can do it. Like, pressure me, the more I finish things. But no, the more I pressured myself, or the more that I succumbed to pressure, the more I was just an autopilot, ticking off boxes, but not really thinking about, are those boxes I really want? Like, are those boxes I'm ticking aligned to the life I want? Or am I just like constantly on autopilot, like just checking off things in my to-do list, checking off what I'm supposed to achieve next? I coach a lot of clients who are about to turn 30 or they're past 30 and they think it's too late. They think, is it still okay? Like, isn't it too late? And it's never too late to take control of your life again, to manage your finances in a way that excites you and not drain you and overwhelm you. So with that, as I put on concealer, so the one I put a while ago is my peach corrector that I always rave about because it really neutralizes dark circles under my eyes. Like, what dark circles? Because my dark circles are purely genetic at this point because I sleep like 9 hours a day, you guys. But the dark circles are still there, although they've improved now that I'm not really stressing myself out. I'm not pressuring myself anymore. I just accepted that it's just part of my genetic DNA. So now going to the next portion of this video, which is the 3 things that I want to share on how I've stopped putting this pressure on myself and be unapologetic about it. So the first thing that really helped me, and also how I coach my clients as a money mindset and life coach, is defining your own version of financial success. Instead of like looking at Google or watching YouTube at like, oh, na-achieve nyo na yun by that age, so dapat ako rin by that age, achieve ko na rin yun. Or like, sabi nila, if by 30, I need to have this much savings, I need this much investments, therefore, that's what success is, therefore, that's gonna be my goal. Like, we need to stop that. Like, we need to stop that. Because as I've mentioned time and time again, if you use others as criteria on what success is, it's never gonna be enough. Because you're constantly going to look at others na parang, nagawa niya yun, dapat ako rin. And there's always going to be people who have quote-unquote achieved more than you. Like, there's always gonna be people who earn more than you, who have more savings than you. And so, kailan ka magiging contented? Kailan ka magiging masaya on what you've already achieved or how far you've come, you know? So when it comes to this, what I really love guiding my clients on is really holding that safe space for them in our coaching calls to dream again, to give themselves permission to talk about like, hey, this is the life that I really want to have, that I really want to wake up to. When I ask them further about what about this dream life makes it ideal for them, that's only when they realize like, oh my gosh, I've only said it now out loud, that this is what I want. Because all my life, I've been embarrassed to say it out loud, or I've been shamed about dreaming big, or I was just told to follow what my parents said or what my colleagues are doing. But now that I've said, this is the life I want, my body is responding in a way that this is the right thing. That's really what I love as a coach, is that when my clients discover for themselves that this is my version of success and I am going to own up to it now. I'm going to focus on that now rather than trying to fit myself into a mold that I've never really wanted in the first place. That's what I talk about. When we pressure ourselves, we keep forcing ourselves to fit into a mold because we're not taking the time to step back and reflect like, gusto ko ba talaga yun? Or I'm just pressured to just do the next thing and the next thing, so I'll just keep doing that. Versus when you really talk about what your dreams are, when you really talk about what is the most ideal life to you and what success really looks like to you, when you create that space for yourself, and I love creating that space for my clients, when you open up and become vulnerable about it, it's you being honest to yourself that I'm done lying to myself. I'm done being in denial about what I want just because it's not what everyone else is doing. That's why that's really the first step, is really defining what your version of financial success is, and just stop asking Google. Stop asking Google, what is financial freedom? What does it mean if you're financially healthy, you know? And that's why I choose to be unapologetic about my financial philosophy. That for me, being financially free is having the peace of mind that I'm earning from doing what I love. I am managing my finances well. I know how to make my own money. And at the same time, real success to me, real metric of success is the impact I leave behind. How I'm creating an impact on every person I interact with. And that's why, even though it was hard for me to get into this path with my coaching business, talking about my mistakes, my money mistakes, and my financial journey online for everyone to see, for every single person to judge me, like, I was willing to go past that. Even though a lot of people were like, are you freaking crazy? Why are you quitting your managerial job to be on YouTube? To post your face on TikTok and, you know, saying that you can help people. Like, you're only 25 and you're saying that you can help people with their lives, you know? And it's because I was so focused at my version of financial success, is that the work that I do creates impact. That's it. Now that I have my foundation, my concealer on, then we can move on to like what makes this base glowy. And that is having a cream or liquid blush underneath your powder product. So I like this because my face doesn't look so powdery. It looks like I'm blushing from within. You know, that's what we want. So going back in terms of defining your version of financial success, I love that one of my clients I interviewed actually talked about this, which I will link here in this video, when I interviewed her about finally she became passionate about going after the career that she really loves, because she's a great example of like, ang daming binato sa kanyang career opportunities, earning opportunities, and she just grabbed it for the sake of, I just need to earn, period. Not really thinking about, is this aligned to my values? Is this aligned with the purpose I'm living out every day? Is this aligned with my calling, with what I really foresee in my life, what I really want to wake up to? And so she was so overwhelmed, wanting to do so many income streams, so many earning opportunities just to earn. And what I loved coaching her on was really focusing on what is the income stream that is aligned to your version of financial success. What is really aligned to what gives you fulfillment, what gives you freedom, what allows you to do more of what you love and earn from it. Kaya sabi ng clients ko that they didn't expect that I would coach them on their career also, on like the right earning opportunities. But I love to do that, because what's the point of managing your finances well if your source of income is dreadful, makes you miserable, or burns you out, right? That's why I love to coach my clients on both sides of like, how can I have fulfillment and meaning from my career? How can I set career goals that would excite me to manage that income, because I'm doing what I love, I'm doing something that's more aligned to my dream life. And in that way, it just becomes a natural part of the process that they manage their finances well, because they love the career that they are pursuing. That's why I love having my clients on my channel, because they are literal proof and example that we don't need to sacrifice our happiness to be financially responsible. We can pursue our version of financial success while we're happy, while we're not burning ourselves out. So that's why I guide my clients in when they have that space of really dreaming again and talking about their dreams, then I guide them in how to create achievable outcomes from the dream life. How can we take the steps in making that a reality? So I guide them in creating their sweet life goals. Literally, that's what I call it. It's goals that embody what their sweet life looks like. And so I guide them with the goals that are achievable in the next 6 to 12 months that would excite them yet challenge them. These are goals that are not simply to-do list or something that would pressure them. It's something that excites them, knowing that kaya ko pala, mas achievable pala than I thought yung mga dreams ko. Only I just needed to speak up about it. I just needed to talk about it more. And that's when they become more concrete on what their version of financial success is. And once I get clear on those goals that are more achievable and realistic and practical, I help them in mapping out, okay, what would be the target monthly income and target savings so that you could fund this dream to reality. If you want to get inspired by how my clients are funding their dreams one by one after graduating from my coaching program, you can check the link below on their testimonials and the dreams that they have manifested, because they have decided to get crystal clear on what their version of success is, what their desired timeline is on their terms, so that they could achieve their financial goals at their own pace instead of pressured by everyone else. Check the link in my bio, and also you can join the waitlist for my coaching program, Fund Your Freedom, if this resonated with you. If you want to get crystal clear on what your version of financial success is, your version of financial freedom is, and you want to know what's finally enough to make it a reality, then check the link in my bio on the details about how you can join soon my coaching program, Fund Your Freedom, and also the exact process that I guide my clients with in building sustainable financial systems, sustainable money habits, so that they could have the confidence and clarity in funding their dreams. So now that I have that liquid blush, and so you can see like glowing skin already, but then I want to powder the parts where I want to make sure it stays longer, which is my under eye area. So I'm getting my translucent powder here, and I'm just going to focus those areas instead of my whole face. So I just make sure I dab this para walang creasing yung concealer, and then I just really dab it. Not yung swipe, but like really, to call that, dab, like, not your eye, but like this, so that the powder really sinks into those lines and it's not going to crease. And of course, yung ating forehead, which usually it moves around more, like this area, yung foundation mo. Or for me, when I get oily, that's where it usually starts. And also my chin, and then dito in between my nose, because that's where it usually moves the most. And then yeah, that's only where I powder. Tapos in terms of setting the liquid blush para it doesn't move, because if I just leave it as this, it's gonna fade out almost instantly. So if I set it with a powder blush, it really sets us into place, but at the same time, it still retains that glowy finish because meron siyang liquid underneath. And I kind of like putting a little bit of my nose para mas, I don't know, mas cute siya. Second step on how to overcome this pressure with financial success is believing that your success is inevitable, so there's no need to rush. I swear, when I really embodied this entirely na, I know I'll be successful. It's just unavoidable. It's just going to happen. I suddenly have that sense of peace and calm knowing that it's gonna happen, so why am I pressuring myself? Why am I rushing into this? If I know that one way or another, as long as I take action, as long as I'm clear that this is my version of financial success and I'm motivated by it, it excites me, I know that my dreams are going to be a reality no matter what. By the way, I'm putting on bronzer para mas even out siya, parang mas natural siya in a way. So, as I mentioned, this mindset that believing that your success is inevitable, this is where papasok yung mindset. The mindset that you have this strong sense of self-belief that you will always figure it out. Because, I'll tell you, nung time na I wanted to really go full-time on YouTube, which was I've started my YouTube channel for the longest time. Like, you could literally stalk the first video I had on my channel. And I think it was like, what, 4 years na I was so inconsistent. I wasn't really that committed to it. I was like, oh, maybe when I'll get lucky, it will eventually happen. Like, maybe it will happen, maybe it will not. Like, at least I tried. Parang, my mindset unconsciously was like, maybe it's not for me. Maybe, one video and I'll get lucky. Versus when I quit my job and I knew like this has to work, it really allowed me to really take it seriously, knowing that I'm gonna find a way to figure it out. I'm going to do things that I haven't done before. And truly, that's what led me to thinking about how can I pivot. Kasi for the longest time kasi, even though I've really been consistent on YouTube for like 2 years now, nung naging consistent ako for 2 years, it was because I had that self-belief that there's at least one person out there who's really going to resonate with my videos. There's one person out there whose life is gonna change, whose finances is gonna change because they've watched at least one of my videos, or they've decided to binge watch my videos for a day. It has literally happened, whether it's someone who's a viewer who messages me on Instagram, or it's a client of mine who decides to work with me one-on-one because they want tailor-fit support with their finances and they want the guidance. Like, I know that the work that I do creates impact, so that's what keeps me going. And truly, that's what also gave me the push or the motivation to look at, okay, what are other channels that I could pivot to? And that's what led me to starting my own TikTok account 2 years ago. And it was just something fun. And I was like, oh, maybe this is going to resonate with someone. And fast forward 2 years later, I cannot believe I have 100K followers on TikTok. Like, what? Like, and it's really because I just knew that my success is going to be inevitable. So I'm just gonna keep taking action. And then, guys, if you want that extra glow, if you're wondering, every time that you see my cheek move here, tas nandito yung araw, and then may glow siya, it's because of this highlighter. It's like this highlighter is like cream to powder siya, and it's always like, it's natural siya tingnan, and then it's always like, boom, Can't explain it but that. Now, let me finish the eyes so that we have a complete look. As I talk about, like, clients of mine who started embodying this strong sense of self-belief. Like, I have a client who also has a business, who has a freelancing business, and when I was able to really coach her and guide her and seeing the proof that she can figure it out in her business, that she can sign clients that are aligned to her. Like, literally after our call, she was able to exceed her quota of clients in a month. From like feeling like she had dry months to now finally having that self-belief that I can sign clients because I know how to help them. I know that I'll always figure it out. You can read her testimonial from Rix, who is a mom and also a business owner, and she is an example that when you cultivate that self-belief in yourself that your dreams are inevitable, your actions reflect that. So let this sink in, that whatever is happening in your reality is a result of your thoughts and beliefs. Whatever is happening in your current reality right now, it's caused by your thoughts and your beliefs about yourself. Just let that sink in and really reflect on that. This is why I love coaching my clients in identifying what are those limiting beliefs that they have in their brain that's been unconscious, but is unconsciously dictating their actions, their reality. Because only when they become aware of, oh my gosh, all this time, I keep thinking that I'm not really good enough, or I'm not really capable enough, or I don't really deserve this. Only when we get to really uncover that, that's when they realize, oh, that's why I'm not taking action on this. That's why I'm not prioritizing this goal. That's why I keep prioritizing everyone's needs but myself. That's why I keep parking my dreams. All these thoughts and beliefs about yourself, they create your reality. Like, this is literally me understanding the language and science of the mind. That's why I love coaching my clients in reframing, in understanding where are these beliefs coming from. How could we reframe them into lessons and eventually solutions? Because truly, if na-define mo na yung version of financial success mo, papasok na dyan yung fears, doubts. And so that's why I love having that safe space for my clients to talk about their fears, to talk about their doubts, to talk about their limiting beliefs, so that they know that now that I'm aware of it, now I know the problem I need to solve. It's like you already know the enemy. Alam mo na yung enemy all this time is yourself pala, is your thoughts about yourself. Now it's easy to face it head Now, as I put mascara on my lower lash line, the third step or tip that really helped me in overcoming this pressure about timelines and making sure I achieve my goals, what really allowed me to stop pressuring myself, putting that pressure, is third, having a clear life vision and mission that I always go back to. So when I guide my clients through this, it can sound like very vague at first, like, oh my gosh, what is my life vision and mission for my life? Like, what? Like, it seems so, like, big word, you know? And so I help them in a series of questions, empowering questions, that allow them to dig deeper and to look at the bigger picture as well of, like, this is what's truly important. These are really the values that I want to uphold every day, that I want to live out every day. This is what truly excites me when I wake up in the morning, because I get to wake up to this kind of life. Like, the reason why is because they become purpose-driven instead of money-driven. Because ang nangyari kapag money-driven tayo, which is I need to achieve this much savings, this much earnings, this much investments, when we focus so much on the peso sign, okay, that's when we become pressured. Versus when we focus on what our purpose is, what it is our bigger mission in life is, we become more excited knowing that that's what gives you meaning. That's what gives you fulfillment in life. And ultimately, isn't that what we all want? Is that we wake up with a sense of fulfillment, knowing that what I do matters and it creates impact. Because truly, achieving my version of financial success, achieving my money goals, my savings, my target investments, my 1 million net worth, it just became a product when I was focused on living out my purpose. That's what kept me going when people didn't understand why I thought this was my version of success, why I was taking this path. And the thing is, they didn't have to understand. A lot of people don't have to understand. I just need to embrace it. I'm the one who needs to understand it so that the right people would be grateful that I showed up for them. Like, I cannot express enough that when my clients tell me, like, Coach, I'm so thankful you quit your job to do this because you're meant to do this. Without your program, I don't know how I would have figured things out. And truly, that's what always kept me going. Knowing that what I do every day, what I put out, how I coach my clients, it creates an impact. One client, one person at a time. That for me is what allowed me to let go of pressure, to be done with it. Knowing that I can feel calm, I can feel peace without pressure. I can feel at ease and at peace, knowing that I'm honoring myself and my own version of success. So as usual, if you want to be guided more on creating your own life vision and mission so that you can take your goals more seriously, you take more action on them, and you use money as a tool to fund these goals into reality in under 5 months, 6 months with me, then make sure you check the link in my bio on how you can be part of my coaching program. This is where you will have 2 months of one-on-one coaching and then 3 months of community support where we meet each other with other fellow like-minded members every single month. So you will always have accountability partners and staying consistent and on track with funding your goals into reality, because truly, if you are going to embrace the life that you really want to pursue, you would have to be surrounded by the right people. You'd have to detox your environment. And in order to do that, having these kinds of people in your life who are rooting for your financial success, that's why I love doing this container, is because we get to normalize the path towards funding our own dreams, funding our own version of financial success. And we get to be surrounded by people who are doing just the same, so that you feel supported and validated in the next 5 months where you're going to take your goals seriously. So join the waitlist for my coaching program. And if you want to get more inspired in my journey to my first million pesos, you can check out this video for more lessons and tips along the way that nobody talks about enough. And I will see you in that video.